how does the Carrier Dome compare to other big venues that you played in and coached in?
Well, it's just unique. I mean, it's different. I mean, it's not, it's not. I mean, I've been all over the place. Coast to coast. I've been a lot of stadiums over my years, from the Rose Bowl to Texas A&M, all over the SEC, you name it. But the Carrier Dome's unique. It's a very unique place. I mean, we went up there 2 years ago, and it's one of the reasons I very seldom do I do this, but I always do it on this trip because of that very factor, because it is different and unique. Just the ambiance of it, the environment is different than going to the Georgia Dome. Well, it's not the Georgia Dome anymore. Whatever it is, and but different than that. And so we always go by when we land. First thing we'll do is we'll go by the Carrier Dome and just get out, and I let them just kind of walk around and just kind of get a visual of it because it's a little different. Your punt catchers, your kickers, the receivers. It's just a very different setting, just like I'm sure it is for basketball teams. I mean, we went up there 2 years ago, and I'd never seen that, but they had it transformed. They were actually playing a basketball game that Friday night when we got there. And so that was pretty cool, actually, for our team to be able to see that. So we went walking in, and they got a dang basketball court set up right in this place, and it's like crazy. But then it's gone. The next day, it's a football field. It's just amazing how they can do all that stuff. But it's just very unique. But let me tell you, it gets loud in there now. It'll get loud and intense. It's a good crowd, and they got great history at Syracuse. I mean, that's another thing. One of the things I do every year this week is I kind of give them a lot of our guys don't know anything about Syracuse. They haven't been in the league that long. It's up in New York, so I'll let them know. Hey, they've had a few dudes now come out of Syracuse. There's some tradition there. So we'll have a little history lesson this week as well.
You guys were among the first teams to really popularize the up-tempo philosophy, and for years it seemed like there was hand-wringing from some of the old-school coaches. It's a lot more ubiquitous now. Have you seen that the defenses have adjusted to that, and how does Syracuse's tempo maybe differ from what you see other places that run similarly?
Yeah, they're lightning fast. I mean, we like to go at a good tempo, and then we kind of pick our spots where we might speed it up a little bit more, or even slow it down. But they're blazing, and that's why they get a lot of offside penalties too. They play so fast, and then boom, it's a dummy call. It's a hard count, and you're jumping offside. So they get a ton. I think they've gone for it on fourth down 27 times. They're just a fast, aggressive, do what they do offense. And so it's different, but from where it was, however many years ago, when I went to kind of more tempo spread attack here, the questions were, and Larry, you're one of the guys that were in here, the questions were, can we be a good defense, And you didn't ask me, but I'm just saying you were in the room. You may have asked me that. I don't know if you did or not, but you can attest to the people in the room. That was the big question back in those days. It was like, the rhetoric was, well, you're never going to be good you can't win a championship with a spread up tempo offense. That was that mindset. Oh, you're never going to be able to do that. Can't be good on defense. Name a spread team. And then it was like, well, you can't be an NFL quarterback if you come from a spread offense. Well, that can't happen. That's never going to happen. That doesn't transition. Now you turn on the NFL, and I'm seeing zone read. I'm seeing RPOs. I'm seeing tempo. I see tons of shotgun. And that's what's happened, I think, as the high school football changed and the dynamics of athletics changed, it affected college ball. And now college ball used to be the other way around. And then, I remember my specific answer to the first time I was asked that was, well, I don't think we got enough data to say, let's just kind of give it 3 or 4 years here. I don't know if we're going to. I don't believe that. I think we can be good on defense. I don't think it just because you go tempo I mean, what does that mean? That just could be hurry up and get off the field too. Get the ball back to your offense, if you got the right defense. And so just because somebody's running a hurry-up offense, that don't mean you can't be good on defense. And so that's what's happened here, which is, again, was one of the reasons I hired Brent. His background in the Big 12 and what he had been exposed to, but also what he had been exposed to on his practice field. You got to remember now, he practiced against Mike Leach every day. He practiced against Kevin Wilson every day. He practiced against, the air raid every day, which is we're different, a lot different than that. But he loved that. He loved the challenge that it presented him as a defensive coach. And yes, I do think defenses have adjusted. I think personnel has changed a little bit. You're seeing more guys like Dorian O'Daniel, those hybrid type of guys. And you got those big, they're hard to find, but those athletic defensive ends. I think the biggest thing is people are just learning how to coach. Learn how to coach the techniques that you have to give yourself a chance to be successful. That's the biggest thing, because it's just different. It's different. You can't just put your hand in the ground and fly up the field and, spill on the power and squeeze, scrape, and all. There's just a lot of things that go into it, and how you fit the run game, where your eyes are in the play action game, because there's just different presentations than there used to be. And so there's been a lot of changing from a coaching standpoint. And the defensive coaches have definitely caught up in many, many ways from where they were, 4 or 5 years ago.
Coach, 9 years ago, or 9 years is a long time. Will you be reflecting it all on Friday afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That day is locked in my mind forever. That's the first thing I saw. I saw the schedule. I was like, son of a gun, October 13th. I just hope it's a good Friday the 13th. But I was like, wow, how about that? Yeah, I always reflect. I love to kind of remember where we came from, and then put my eyes on just being great where we are, and just keep plowing ahead, man. But yeah, that'll be a neat day, no matter what happens.
Before Wake Forest game, you talked about the importance of student attendance, and I realize we're going into an away game, but talk about that again, especially after the Wake Forest game, when it appears that not all the students use their tickets, and the importance of that for that loud atmosphere that we just talked about with Syracuse. Yeah,
our atmosphere is unbelievable. It really is, and I know they sold all the tickets. I don't know, but again, that's administration. They're working on all that stuff and trying to figure out, make sure everything's coordinated properly. But I mean, they'll get all that figured out. But I can just tell you, our it's very important that we have a great environment, and every university, every football team wants to have a great home environment, and we got that. It's unbelievable. So, I know there's been a few changes or whatever. I'm not in the weeds on all that stuff, so I don't really know. I'm trying to get a football team ready to play. That's my part. That's my job. And administration will handle all that other stuff, Joe Galbraith and all that crew.
Last year I asked you about the air raid, and if you remember Syracuse game, and we're not the air raid team. This year's question, what's your philosophy on fourth down conversions? Do you ascribe to a method? Do you have a system, a chart, or?
Yeah, I'm not a big, some of these people got what you call them analytic teams or something. They kind of tell you, I'm just old fashioned, and I just go with my gut. And, the flow of the game, how my defense is playing, how we match up, the call that we have, particular calls that we have. We spend a lot of time studying fourth down. That's not something we just get into a game and go, okay, let's go for it on fourth down. We've put a couple of hours or more into studying fourth down on what we would do if it's 4th and 1, it's 4th and 2, it's 4th and 3, it's 4th and 12. So we actually spend a lot of time on that. Just like we spend a lot of time on 2nd and long. Sometimes I don't think people spend enough time on 2nd and long, offensively and defensively. But we have a plan, and then, it's just kind of, it's just flow of the game, score of the game, momentum of the game, how we're playing on defense. You know, just there's a lot of factors that go into that I think, you know, you make a decision on. And, you know, so that's just an instinct. But we don't wing it. I mean, we've got a plan.
Have you evolved on that throughout the years, or has that been your philosophy from the
That's pretty much been my philosophy. I mean, when you know, sometimes you know, and that's the other thing too, how you moving the ball. Are you really struggling to move the ball? But no, I really haven't changed much, you know, on that, you know, over the years. You know, we've made our fair share. I think we were 3 of 3 last week on 4th down.
You guys have been really good at scoring on the opening drive under Jeff and Tony. What does that do for you when you're able to get a lead early on that first drive and take a 7-0?
Yeah, I mean, when you got a great defense, it puts them in a hole, you know, right out of the gate. It really does. So I think they deferred last week, and so I mean, we were excited about that. All right, let's get the ball, let's go. And if we play defense, we're like, all right, let's get a stop, and we're going to get good field position. Let's go score. Now we're going to get it. So we embrace whatever happens in that situation, and but you know, I think it just speaks to the mindset of our team, the readiness. Our staff does an awesome job in really having them prepared for what we think we're going to see, and you never really know until you get into the game. For sure, and then you try to make some adjustments off of that, and they make adjustments too. But you know, I think not just since Tony, I think we've been really good an opening team for quite a while. We've been pretty good at in that first quarter. You know, and sometimes you don't score, but just creating the field position and putting your defense out there on a long field, that's a win too.
Being more efficient in the red zone, is that a product of maybe being more run-based, or has that sort of been a point of emphasis for you?
Just turnovers. I mean, if we don't turn it over in the red zone last year, it would have been unbelievable. That's the difference in our team this year is the timing of turnovers. We got less turnovers than we had last year. Well, we got about maybe 7 or so, 6 or 7, and last year we probably had 10 or so about this time. But it was where they were. I mean, we had it was a crazy number. It seemed like when we turned it over, we were inside the red zone. So we, you know, as a result, you have now you've put drives together, and then you come away with no points. And now you have some close games where maybe you could have put some of those games away, but you don't finish in the red zone, but yet you took time off the clock, and now you don't get anything for it. It's kind of that double-edged sword. Whereas this year, we've done a much better job taking care of the ball in the red zone. We're 17 out of 20 touchdowns. And that is off the charts. That's like 85%. So it starts with taking care of the ball. Yes, being able to run the ball, that was one of the things we thought we'd be able to do better this year. And last year, I think we are averaging maybe 170 or so rushing. We're 230-plus now. I mean, that's a significant improvement. We're very balanced. I think we're rushing for about 237, throwing for about 230. That's difficult when you can be a balanced team and then have a defense that denies balance, and then you can be sound in your special teams. You've got a chance to win a lot of games. And so, if you're going to be a great red zone team, first of all, you got to be able to run the football. You need an athletic quarterback. You got to be able to win matchups because you're going to get matchups. You're going to get one-on-ones. You got to be able to win those, and you got to be able to make kicks inside that zone. So we've been good in those areas. We haven't had to rely on making many kicks. The 2 kicks that Spence have missed have been, I think 41 and 42, hit the pole on the 42-yarder, but the one close one he made. So, we've just got to be we got to be good in all those areas. But it starts with being able to run the ball, because now all of a sudden you got some of your play action game that you can set up, just like you saw us hit Cannon the other day off a little action dump pass. And so, but the biggest thing compared to last year is just turnovers, because we were effective in the red zone when we didn't turn it over. What cost us when you go back and you break it down, and what kept us from being a really good red zone team was that I think against NC State we had 3 inside the 5. where we got nothing. So that'll mount up on you in a heartbeat from a statistic standpoint. But we've been really good this year in that area, both sides, defensively and offensively.
Coach, in the scenario that Hunter or Zarek are taking snaps and playing up on the road in ACC play, where do they draw on their practice experience that they had, where they were succeeding early in August, and the limited game experience they've had as well too?
Yeah, I mean, both of those scenarios. I mean, they practice every day, every week. I mean, it's not like they come to practice in the NFL here. You know, the NFL, the first guy gets all the reps, second guy, he just kind of stands over there and, you know, I don't know what he does. Maybe, you know, starter gets 4 snaps and backup gets 1, and he better be ready to go. And the third team guy's just the scout quarterback. That's not the way we do it here. We rep our guys. So they get a ton of work every week, even if they don't get much game time. They're repping. So they've all scrimmaged. I mean, we're 6 going into 7 games now. So yeah, they just got to draw on the experience that they have and go play ball. I mean, it's just football. I mean, it's not like they've been playing football their whole life. Just go play. I thought they both did a good job with that. And I think they did. I think they both got in at Louisville. Maybe didn't they both get in at Louisville? So. There wasn't many people there when they got in, but they did get in. But still, it's on the road, different environment, you know, so that counts.
How much does it help to get those game reps with the game kind of somewhat in the balance, at least score-wise, as opposed to what would be a lopsided score?
I think it's good, really critical. I mean, like, you know, the last week, I mean, that game was still well in the balance, big time, and against a good defense. That presents a lot of problems. I'm telling you. I know y'all tired of me bragging on Wake Forest, but they're good. They're a good football team and well coached, especially defensively. Man, they're a problem, and will be for everybody they play. So for them to have to go in and play ball and execute, it was great experience for them. You know, we just you know, to see them go win the game. That game wasn't won. That's something that can definitely help them get better.
Coach, Ray McLeod ranks in the top 10 right now of total punt return yards. How have you seen him improve since last season, and what kind of work did you see him put in this offseason?
Well, he's catching the ball. You know, there's probably some of y'all sitting here that are probably wondering why we still had him back there. Yeah, but, you know, I believe in Ray, and I know what he can do, and I've seen him. It's kind of the same thing like a lot of players. You see something in practice, and then you just, dadgum, you're so frustrated because it's not quite transitioning to the game field yet, you know. And so as a coach, you got to make a decision. You know, do you hang in there with that guy, or do you just fire him and move on to the next guy? Now, I fired him a couple times during a couple games, you know, get the next guy in there. But I love Ray. I think Ray's kind of just blossoming and coming into his own. I thought he played maybe one of his best games last week. He was our downfield blocker of the week. He had some yards after the contact, some extra effort yards on some plays that, it maybe not look like a big play, but it was a big play because he got 4 more yards or 5 more yards just with his extra effort, his balance. And, you know, he's just kind of, his confidence now is really, really high. He's worked very hard. As I said earlier, I just don't think he just didn't have quite the maturity to match his talent when he first got here. He's always had the talent, but I just don't think he had quite the maturity. He's a great kid. I'm talking about just as what it was going to take as a football player, the type mindset you have to have at this level, and how you got to work at some of these little things. I think he just kind of, a lot of those things have always come natural to him, and took it for granted a little bit, and then all of a sudden you get out there and you get exposed. And, you know, if you don't have quite that mindset, that's what happens. And so I think he's worked so hard at that aspect of it this whole past year. And I'm just really proud of him. I mean, he's a weapon, and he can change a game on one play. And that's something that he's really bought into. I think early on it was like, oh, okay, I'll go back here and catch a punt, you know. But now he's really bought into, you know what, man, I can change the game here. And he's making good decisions. He's learned through some of his failures, and now he's had some success. And so he's kind of got his swag, and I love that right now. But He had 2 big ones called back with penalties, or he'd even be higher. But, you know, we're excited about where he is right now from an execution standpoint and a mindset standpoint. Hopefully he can continue to bring that to the table.
Quick follow-up to that, he's also your team's leading receiver, and so you think that, you know, one thing is fueling the other. His confidence as a receiver is fueling his confidence as a punt returner.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt. That's for sure. But I just think he's worked at it more too. I mean, he's really put the work in and is really focused on being great at it. And he realizes that that's something that he's got a gift to do. I mean, he's just got a gift. I mean, he can change direction, make people miss. He's got explosiveness, and you know, he's taken a lot of pride in it. But definitely, I just think he's become, you know, more of a leader on the team. In fact, he was, I believe he was captain last week, and you know, played a heck of a game for us.
When y'all recruit people like Hunter and Zarek who could be starters elsewhere, what's your pitch to still get them to come here?
The same pitch as it is in everybody else. It's not really a pitch; it's the truth. I just tell them the truth. It's a great place. If you come to Clemson, hey, you know, we're gonna help you get better. I mean, I don't promise anybody anything. Nobody. I tell them all the same thing. You know, if you come here, you're gonna have to compete. You're gonna have to earn it. Best player's gonna play. Whether it's a walk-on like Hunter Renfro or a 5-star player. But if you'll come here, this is going to be an experience you're going to love. You're going to be at a great academic institution. You're going to be surrounded by good people, and we're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to challenge you, and we're going to help you develop on and off the field. It's no different for anybody. And then, you know, and then we get out. To be honest with you, I just get out of the way. You know, let them spend time with your players. If you do a great job with that locker room, bring the right guys in here, they'll do a good job in helping you continue to bring the right guys. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, everybody wants to play and all that type of stuff. But if you just really look at it, if you've got the talent and the character, if you stick with it, usually it plays out. You know, some guys have to be a little more patient than others, but some guys just need to develop more. Some guys just need the opportunity. But if you stick with it, you know, most of the time it's going to work out in a good way. And again, we got a lot of those examples on our team. We got some this year on this team, like Dorian, who didn't play much his first 3 years here, and now he's, you know, an All-American candidate. And you know, I'm sure he's glad that he stuck with it. You know, we probably had everybody hits the wall at some point, but you know, and quarterback's probably a little harder than other positions. But you know, we just try to recruit good people, and don't really say anything different to one that we say to another.
With Kelly practicing and moving around well, is it fair to say he's a starter, or is it still a wait and see thing as the week goes on?
Is it fair that – oh, no, Kelly's a starter. Yeah, that doesn't change.
No, I mean that he will start against Syracuse, or is it still a wait and see thing?
Oh, well, yeah, no, he's still – we've got to see him go practice today, but practiced all day yesterday. Didn't miss a rep, so hopefully he'll be able to go again today.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.